Gina. She was 17, impossibly beautiful, with hair that felt like black silk and eyes that sparkled like polished. But she was also spoiled beyond reason. Gina had everything a girl could ever want, except the one thing money could never buy: humility. High above the city, where roads twist endlessly and life never pauses, Gina stood on the balcony of her towering apartment. From up here, the city looked small, like a puzzle she could control. Gina said to herself with confidence, "Everything down there, it's mine. And it should know it." She believed she ruled the city. But the city was about to teach her otherwise. Gina was beautiful, undeniably so. But beauty had become her shield, her sword, and sometimes her prison. Gina said to herself, "Why bother with rules when no one can stop me?" At home, her whims ruled the day. House staff moved carefully, afraid to provoke her temper. She shouted at the housekeeper, "Why is this cold? Do it again." Housekeeper replied, "Yes, Miss Gina." She had never been told no, she had never faced consequences. Her parents watched quietly, unsure how to reach a girl who had never learned humility. Her mom was worried. She doesn't understand consequences. What if something goes wrong? Her dad replied, "We've let her slide for too long. Money can't protect her forever." Even in their wealth, they felt powerless against her pride. One Thursday, the city reminded her she was not untouchable. Gina shouted at the old man, "Are you blind? Move that useless thing." For the first time, someone ignored her. And it terrified her. The next morning, school offered her a lesson she had never expected. Mr. Adewale, the new teacher, stood before the class. "Come. Unfazed." Mr. Adewale said to the students, "This city rewards arrogance, until it doesn't." Gina whispered, "What nonsense." He had chosen her as his first example. Mr. Adewale said to her, "Miss Okon, you will participate in a challenge that tests not wealth, but character." Gina replied, "Character? I don't need character. I'm fine as I am." Her laughter was a shield. The city had already begun its lesson. By the evening, Gina realized it was no longer just a classroom exercise. By removing privileges at home and allowing her to experience real life outside her bubble, he is forcing her to face consequences and discomfort. Gina stood outside the compound shouting, "This is impossible. Give me my things." Her dad replied, "No, Gina. You need to learn." Her mom replied too, "This is for your own good." The walls of our world were beginning to close in. The first morning without privilege hit Gina like a wave. She had to take the crowded Lagos bus, rubbing shoulders with strangers, feeling the heat, the smell, the noise, and the chaos she had always ignored. Gina walks down a busy street, hands empty. People brush past, indifferent. Gina said to herself, Where is everyone? Why does no one notice me?" That evening, she stumbled into a small food store run by an elderly woman. "Girl, you look lost," the woman said kindly, offering a steaming bowl of yam porridge. I don't have money," Gina stammered. "You have something more valuable, humility. Eat, and learn." As Gina ate, she felt a strange warmth. For the first time, someone treated her with kindness not because of her wealth but because of her presence, her humanity. The week dragged on. Gina had to wash clothes by hand in a cramped apartment, negotiate bus fares, and even help an injured street boy named Tond. She discovered a part of Lagos she had never seen, the neighborhoods where people struggled but laughed, where families lived in tight spaces but shared what little they had, where life's lessons came in raw, unpolished form. For the first time in her life, Gina worked not to impress, but to survive. There were no mirrors to admire herself, no audience to applaud her. Only effort. Only patience. The elderly woman said to her. You're not afraid of hard work anymore. Gina replied. I was afraid of it before, because I didn't understand it. As sweat touched her forehead, Gina wiped it away and kept going. Each small task stripped away the pride she once mistook for strength. Later that day, Gina struggles to lift a heavy container. It slips and spills. People nearby stare. She said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Once, embarrassment would have turned into anger. Once, she would have shouted, blamed, demanded respect. But now, she knelt quietly and began to clean. And in that silence, she learned something new. That evening, as the city hummed around her, Gina sat beside Tond. No judgment. No pity. Just truth. Tond said to her. You've changed. Gina replied. I didn't know how little I knew about people. Tond said. And about yourself? Gina paused for a while. Especially myself. Growth did not arrive with applause. It came quietly, through honesty. A stranger bumps into Gina deliberately. She almost reacts, then she stops. The stranger said to her. Watch yourself. Gina replied. I will. That moment marked a victory no one clapped for. But it was her greatest one yet. That night, Gina sat alone by the window, watching the city glow. The same city that once bent to her will, now teaching her its truths. Gina spoke to herself gently. I thought power was loud. But strength is quiet. The spoiled girl was fading. In her place stood someone new. Unfinished, but awake. She tried to cheat the system, sneaking into her father's office to access her bank account. She was caught by Mr. Adewale. Gina said. I was just checking something. Mr. Adewale replied. Checking or escaping? Gina said again. I thought I could fix everything. Mr. Adewale replied. The lesson only works if you finish it. For the first time, wealth brought no comfort. Behind polished walls and glowing lights, two parents waited. Hoping the lesson would not cost them their child. Her mom said, she hasn't called, not even once. Her dad replied. What if we pushed her too far? But if we don't let her learn now, life will teach her later. And life is not gentle. Her mom replied. I just want my daughter safe. Gina bent down, steadying the heavy bucket, helping an elderly woman navigate the busy street. A simple act, but a word away from the spoiled girl she had once been. The old woman said to her. Thank you, my child. God bless you. Gina replied. It's nothing, Ma. Let me help. From the car window, her father watched silently. No words were spoken, yet pride filled his chest. The girl who once demanded everything was learning to give. One act of kindness at a time. The spoiled girl who once mocked the world now stood as a student of life. The test was never written on paper. It was written on the streets, in hunger, in humility, and in choice. Mr. Adewale asked her calmly.
Gina, tell me.
What did the city teach you? Gina replied. It taught me that money can open doors, but it cannot build character. Mr. Adewale asked again. And people? Gina replied. People matter. Even when they have nothing, they still give. Her mom said. Gina, we are proud. You have learned what no amount of money could teach you. Tears of pride filled her mother's eyes, and her father's calm smile spoke volumes of relief. Gina replied. I understand now. Life isn't about what you have, it's about who you are to others. In that moment, the spoiled girl had truly changed. She had discovered that true wealth is not in gold or glass towers, but in kindness, humility, and the heart. Her dad said, "Welcome back, my daughter." And for Gina, the city that once humbled her had given her a gift that no privilege ever could: wisdom. Gina walked through the bright mall, her eyes lighting up with excitement, but her smile was humble. No longer the spoiled girl who demanded everything, she accepted gifts with gratitude and joy. Gina said to her mom, "Thank you, Mama. I really appreciate it." Her dad teased her, "Don't forget to pick something for your father too." She laughed quietly, genuinely, a sound full of warmth and humility. The lessons of the city had transformed her. She understood that happiness is sweetest when paired with gratitude. Gina replied, "Don't worry, Papa. I'll pick carefully." And in this simple day of joy, Gina's journey came full circle, reminding her that life isn't about what you have, but how you share it with others. Later, Gina stands on the rooftop, looking out over the city skyline. She whispers softly, "I used to think the world owed me everything. Now I know I owe the world kindness." The city that once humbled her, shaped her. Wealth may define comfort, but character defines legacy. And that is the story of Gina, the girl who learned that life's greatest lessons are earned, not bought. The end. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe for more interesting stories.